Sometimes I feel sad, but there's no reason for it. I'm not saying that I'm depressed. I don't think I am. I often find myself just alone most times. I don't really have anyone that I could just call up. I'm always sort of like reminded of this moment in the Miss Americana documentary where Taylor was like accepting the award, and she said like how she's on top of this like moment, but she didn't have anyone to call. And I don't know, there's moment like that I'm like, shouldn't I have someone to call right now? But then again, I've never had anyone to call, so sometimes it's just it hits a bit harder. Harder not in the sense of like, oh my god, this is aching, I'm dying, but it's more just like it's more saturated in the mind to be reminded of such. So far, I don't know. I genuinely and been cultivating my relationship with myself because that's all I had. And I'm glad that I did, because I don't know, maybe I appear certain and sure of my own decision, but that's not always the case. I have my own like sort of philosophy or mindset that I stick with, or they either evolve over time, but I always have something to say. It's a bit lonely if I let myself think about it. In terms of relationship, I'm always sort of brush upon it, but never really be fully engaged in one. I don't know, maybe it's not the time, which is something I've been telling myself. It's just this isn't the time. And you know, as much as I'm like fascinated about relationship and the dynamic and how much I can learn about people, and honestly I've learned a lot just from observing people, sort of looking outside of that. And you know, I have friends being in a relationship and break up, and you know, being there in the moment, in the raw moment, in witness of other people's relationship. I learned a lot from that alone. So I'm just also like really curious, if I were to be in one, how would that be like? How would I act? Like there's this section of myself that I have yet to unlock, that I have yet to meet or know, that I'm so curious to actually get to interact with that side of me. But it just hasn't come. I'm in the belief that, you know, things are meant to be, or like everything happened for reasons. So it makes sense why certain stuff didn't work out the way that I, in that moment, hoped that it did. But now I can look back and be like, oh, you know what, that makes sense. Some people you meet, they simply are just friend. You know, I don't know. Some people are just really like friend-shaped in a way. I want to say I have good chemistry with people I talk with. This like in like the general sense. I never really had like a romantic chemistry with anyone ever, really, which is strange. I've never truly been in a moment where I'm like, oh, like this thing is romantic. It was always just friendly, and that's it. I don't know. My approach to love, I really can't pin down. And I don't think I've ever engaged myself in a situationship. That word in itself has been dated as for like a very long time. Like I've heard about it since I don't know, like back in like 2017, which honestly doesn't feel that long ago, but it is long ago, which is crazy to even think about that, because when it was 2017, that was my present moment. I was in 2017, but now having to deal with the fact that 2017 is considered a long time is sort of a bit puzzling, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around that in itself. It's really just nothing really changed. Like this has been my life, and I'm a lot happier just doing my work and getting new ideas and writing stuff and making projects, and now I'm flirting with the idea of working with people and not hating it. I'm a lot more like intrigued with being collaborative with people. I have projects I want to do, and that's been like my fuel. I'm a lot happier when I'm creatively busy, and that's been so helpful going through times where it's not really nice, even though, you know, in times where you're going through stuff, you just gotta keep yourself busy, honestly, and it helps a lot. It helps me sort of slow down and not be so reactive, and like really let my emotion just grow arms and leg and just claw at people. But it like, feel your feeling, obviously, please, but it was also like letting your feeling sit and just like sit with it by doing or creating stuff and making projects. That helps me gain new perspective on it, and how I want to steer towards this situations and how I want to approach it next. I don't know, it's all just about reaction. It really is, honestly. The approach to life, what you get is just how you react towards it. Once I find the peace within myself and figure stuff out just between me and myself, it's a lot easier to like deal with the outside situation of it. And that's been really, really helpful, setting sort of a role towards a certain situation and sticking to that helps a lot, rather than like going into something like floating, formless. You can get lost easily, and you can get confused of your own feelings and other people perception, outside perception of what the moment is, when reality it wasn't all of that. You get influenced easily once you approach it with like, we'll see what happens, or at least right now my approach toward things is to not be all like scramble and like easily influenced and scattered all over the place, which then would just eventually lead me toward my own feeling. Going into a certain situations or connection with someone, naming it within yourself and saying like, okay, this is that, and whatever builds upon later on, you can allow that to sort of like, I don't know, gathering data and put it into like this one pile of groups, and consider it with yourself whether or not what you feel is actually the same thing as you intended, or has it developed into something more? And this can be like in all contexts, but for me, approaching new people, you can sort of like tell right away whether or not this is like a friendship or something approaching more. Just it's good to come in hand with a label and say this is this, and whatever stuff comes at you, you get the chance to choose whether or not you want that to be into the category you've established or expand more into something else. Right now I'm just busy with assignment, honestly, and I would occasionally go out to events. But I think this October really it's gonna be busy, which I'm excited, honestly. There's people I want to meet, and things I want to discover about myself, and I hope it will go as the way I want it to, but I'm not gonna hold out on it so strongly because things can change. And I thought I would like say a lot more like stuff because I was having this whole conversation with myself as I always do, and now I'm just rambling about stuff that I don't even know if it makes sense. But yes. Bye.